reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network.
Anything to report?
We'll put the bomb here. The ceiling looks weak.
How long is the fuse?
How fast can you run?
Go, go, go! This place is about to come down.
I need some help! Happiness mode engaged.
Hello.
Welcome.
Ready for action.
Happy to meet you, hero.
Glad to have you with us.
You'll find everything you need here.
Hail, traveler.
Wake up, you motherless Edens. It's time to go.
I'd offer the traditional pirate's greeting, but your spleen is better unperforated.
You're listening to Guild Wars Reporter on the MMO Reporter Network, brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter, and by Doghouse Systems. Choose your weapon at doghousesystems.com. Hello and welcome to another episode of Guild Wars Reporter. This is episode 187. I am Celeste, and as always I am joined by the amazing Allona.
Hello, Celeste, who is wonderful.
You sound tired.
I actually am tired. I'm trying not to sound tired, though, so... Wow.
You failed.
I sure did. I'm going to sit up straight. I'm not slouching anymore. Does that help?
Yes.
Yay!
Oh, Allona. What did you do in game this week?
I did a fair bit, even though I wasn't on an awful lot. Awful lot? It's like an ocelot, but different.
It's a bad ocelot.
I was actually in Guild Wars 1 for a little bit this week. On Saturday morning, I did some challenge missions with Irish Dog.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, we did the Dajka Inlet one. So that's the one where you have to hit all the lords and the timer times down, but if you kill or defeat commanders and lords, the time will go back up and you take portals. We did it 5 times, 5 full times. Was it 5 or 6 full times? Irish Dog would remember probably, but we did it awesome. And I was super impressed because anytime I had done that one before, I had never even completed it once.
I've done it a few times. Like, I did it as many times as I needed to get the armors from it for heroes, and that's it.
Well, this one, it's not... It continues. Like, it just keeps pushing you back to the beginning.
Oh, okay. So it just rotates?
Yeah, and as long as you have time, and the time... Like, there were several times we were down to 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
But then got the extra minute, which let us get further out.
Right.
And yeah, I think it was on the 6th time through that we ran out of time.
Wow.
I know, like, I had never done this well. He has some really good heroes, and I only brought one, because my General Morgan, who's a Paragon, I have him traded for obviously support, but also all the speed boosts for the party.
Yeah.
He's our, little engine that could Paragon, and that made a huge, because we did it through once, and I can't remember, no, we didn't finish it the first time, and then I brought Morgan in, and we were just cycling through. We were actually number 1 for the challenge mission.
Nice.
We were 1st for the day, 9th for the month, and 19th for the quarter.
Nice.
Right? So,
Very
yay
nice.
us. I'm raising my hands in the air doing, yay us.
Understandably so.
Yeah. Actually, I thought I needed armor from that, but no, what I need hero armor for is the ancient armor.
Oh, wrong.
And that's, yeah. And it's apparently solo, and Irish Dog described it as Pac-Man. So, and I don't really remember it, so I'm gonna have to try it. It's probably why I don't have any of those armors, because it's solo. Wah, wah.
Yeah.
So that was that. That was Guild Wars 1. For Guild Wars 2, I crammed a bunch of dailies in right under the wire. Right under the wire. Because I got to get that 2 gold. It's
Right.
It's important to me. And it was like logging in with 20 minutes left. I'm like, I gotta get dailies done in 20 minutes.
Oh, jeez.
And do it. Had an epically long raw Mersat path run. However, it was several hours for this one path. But it was a lot of fun when we were playing. And it was challenging because we didn't have a Sherpa with us. So I'm still going along with my Astralaria collections for Tier 2, still on the basic mithril axes. I'm within 20 of making 250 of them. But it's so slow. So slow.
It is.
It's so slow. And I'm still going along for Horologicus so that I can have an Ascended Shield for Allona. And it's also so slow. It's the Exalted Mastery track. It is...
Masteries.
Take you forever for that one. Well, up until last night, I had not gone into the hot maps since the patch. So this was the first time I had gone into them. So I hadn't really done a lot of hot content to get the masteries, Exalted Masteries, further up.
Oh, okay.
That's my own fault. I haven't done that a lot lately. But what I did yesterday is I used the wonderful reorganized, slightly revamped, looking for group tool. Hunter suggested if I wanted to get Dragon Stand metas done, partly for Noxious Pods, partly for Mastery, partly for some of the things I needed for Horologicus as well, to use the looking for group tool. And I'd always found it a little bit, I mean, it was good, don't get me wrong, but I never really used it before.
Yeah.
I popped in and we're like, oh, Dragon Stand right here. Look there. Oh, Taxi. Awesome map. I got into a great map. Very organized, and right at the beginning, so it was on the, if you're looking at the map, the right-hand lane. Going all the way down. It's really awesome. Playing all the way through, nearing to completion. The dragon has you could barely see any red on the health bar. And the game crashed.
Oh.
And I couldn't get back into the map. I logged back in as fast as I could, and I'm right-clicking on the commander, trying to join for like 8 minutes before I came. Well, maybe. It felt like 8 minutes. So it might have been less than that, but it sure felt like a long time. And I'm just like, why can't they save your place in situations of crashes for like 2 minutes? Just save my spot for 2 minutes. Like, if I can't get logged back in 2 minutes, there's bigger problems.
Yeah, that sucks.
Oh, I was so bummed. And of course it ported me back into the islands, but I was all by myself. All by myself. On these islands. I was so sad. I was in a party. I was in a squad. I was super bummed. I'm bummed now talking about it. Although Hunter was saying that happens to him all the time. So what did you do?
I goofed around on my Elementalist. I don't remember all the stuff that I did, but I popped around to a lot of different things. I did some Ranger PvP that was for daily, and I won, like, handily. Nice. It was really nice. It was like 500 to 300 or so. On, no.
No.
I was gonna say it was on Spirit Watch, but no, it was Niffle. And Niffle didn't really have any changes, so that's not very helpful for the patch, at least.
No, there were changes to Niflhel.
Were there?
Yeah.
A couple of slight things, then?
I remember... Who was it I talked to for the PvP stuff? It was Grouch?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I remember him talking about Niflhel specifically.
Well, it didn't feel like it was that different. But I had a good time.
Yeah.
That was good, because it was the first time I've PvP'd and had a good time in a really long time.
I actually haven't been into PvP since before the last... I didn't do any of the last tournament.
I didn't either.
And I probably should get back in, because now things have changed enough, and...
Yeah, I had a lot of fun in there. I did some map completion on the Elementalist. I finished the Hidden Garden jumping puzzle,
Ooh.
which you and I had been on Discord talking, I think when you were still on vacation. And I did like 3 of the cantles.
Oh, right.
And they were just sitting in my inventory, and I was like, I should go finish that real quick. I also finished Reaper, finally.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, Tangled Depths is my most frustrating map, and it's also the only map that I needed hero points in.
We should make plans to go through... I love Tangled Depths. Actually, it's of all the hot maps, it's the one I understand the best.
It is the one that I am always lost in. Always.
I am such a contrary person, apparently. Things that I find easy, other people find difficult, and vice versa. Have you noticed that?
I'm terrible at level changes, and there's so many gradual level changes in Tangled Depths that it's just a very frustrating map for me to enjoy. Just because I get really confused with up, down, and I'm like, which is silly, but yeah, it's confusing to me.
Called Tangled Depths. It's kind of supposed to be confusing.
And when I finished up Reaper, I got my 11k chest, which I did not know I was coming up on.
Huzzah! What's in that one?
It's just I think it's a large chest.
Okay.
Nothing earth-shattering. But I got another Zenith skin, and,
Sweet.
It's good stuff. It lives up to its name with being tangled.
I will help you if you like, because I spent a lot of time there when I was...
But I did actually have a lot of fun doing the events. The events were fun. Navigating the map was hard.
There are still elements I get turned around in, that's for sure. But I guess, you know what it is? I found where I go. Like, I go to certain waypoints. So, Ogre Camp and the Leyline Confluence and the Radassoum one. And those are the only ones I go to, basically. And I start there and branch out.
Those are basically the only waypoints.
There's at least 3 more.
Yeah.
4 or
that's
5.
True.
Those ones are the ones I hit to get everywhere I need to go.
Yeah, and then I'd found myself going on the underwater thing, like the tunnel that's underwater way down low.
Mm-hmm.
And I got completely turned around, and I tried to go up through one of the tops, and it was like, oh, we're gonna stack some crazy damage thing on you for 100k per tick, and nope, you're gonna die right now. I was like...
You don't have Itzel poison, do you?
No, I don't. I didn't know I needed it for down there.
Yeah, there's an area that if you come out of the water, there's Itzel poison. It kill you, but good.
Huh. Now I know. We live stream on Wednesdays at 9:30 p.m. EST, 6:30 p.m. PST at twitch.tv/MMOreporter. You can subscribe to the audio version of the podcast on iTunes and or Stitcher. And remember to rate and review us so that Allona has a review to read at this portion of the podcast.
Yep. Or even just send me one in-game.
Yeah, that works too.
Although if you do it on iTunes, everyone else can see it too.
Yes.
So there is that.
Think we're ready for another attack?
From land, air, or sea, we won't be caught off guard again.
Report from Lion's Arch.
Long live Lion's Arch.
So guess what, guys? Guild Wars Factions is 10 years old.
10 years.
Makes me feel old.
As it should.
But
you were like 5 when it came out.
Very funny.
Ah.
No, I was 18 or 19.
Oh, so young.
Yes, I was. But the nice thing about it is that the boardwalk is open and all the fun festival things have been turned on, and that should be going on until May 6th. And my gosh, I just can't believe that Factions is 10 years old.
Yes, and next we're going to have Nightfall's anniversary. I'm waving in my arms in the air. Like I just don't care. Super excited about that. The one thing to preface, if you go to guildwars.com, it does say that the celebrations end on the 29th, but there was apparently an amendment to that saying that they were extending it for 2 weeks to May 6th. It just isn't updated on the official website.
I'm pretty sure that nobody slept. Nobody slept for a year. I think that, yeah.
2 campaigns, 3 campaigns. There were 3 campaigns.
Nightfall came out a year later. A year after Factions, I believe.
No.
Yeah.
No, it was like 6 months or something insane.
No, the release of the game and then 6 months later was Factions.
Yeah. All right. Someone not us check this out. We continue.
I'm going to check this real quick because I have to. October 27th, 2006 for Nightfall.
Same year, 2006.
Wow.
Factions. See?
Yeah.
I told you.
Wow.
Because I remember thinking that was insane.
It was a year after that Factions came out.
And then in 2007, Eye of the North came out.
Yeah,
2007, Gwen. So long.
Before my eldest.
Wow. And I didn't know Nightfall got game. Well, deserved. It was phenomenal. Had a great story. Loved the villain.
Oh, yeah.
She was amazing. Great voice acting. Great. She just looked amazing. Love Nightfall. Anyway. Guild Chat. Guild Chat, you can watch it on YouTube, right? As of, day after it was out. They had a bunch. It was a parade of devs.
It was.
They started with Mike Zadarajna, who is apparently, I actually did not know this, lead designer for Expansion 2 was how he was announced. And he said that we took the entire Expansion 2 team offline for a month to go back and work on the hot maps. Because they were the teams that worked on them in the first place. Is that the reasoning?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. And good call. It's probably better to get them on that rather than trying to bring someone else up to speed. They already kind of know some of the stuff they tried and dropped and what have you.
Exactly, yeah.
Also had Byron Miller, designer on the Raid team, Raid Lobby Instance, and the DPS/Special Forces Arena, and looking for Group Tool.
Yep.
So, woo! They talked about how they were making the maps feel more rewarding and allow players to choose how to play the game again. Have you had much experience with it? Like, I've only done the one Dragon Stand. I haven't really gone in to really experience that yet. Have you noticed a difference, Celeste?
I did a lot of Tangled Depths, and I did a little bit of Arc Basin, and it seemed like you were able to get more rewards for just spending time there and doing little events rather than having to take up participation or anything like that.
They also talked about flooding the maps with more chests, making a conscious effort to reduce bags in bags. And Mike actually called it bagception. I don't know if that was a term they were using internally or not, but it is something I used during my session with them on the Monday prior to the patch notes. So,
yeah,
I'm just gonna say it's because of me.
It totally. I mean, I found the caches everywhere, and it definitely felt like I would open up maybe 6 or 8 bags, and none of them were bags in bags for rewards. So that was really nice.
And Zero Katsuni in chat is mentioning that there isn't a participation bar anymore. And I liked it when it was there, but I did find it, like, it would pop up when I was trying to open chests. It was kind of an awkward placement for it, so I'm okay with it being gone from that point of view. Also, from when I did Dragon's Den last night, I really liked how as you completed an event, the noxious pods would show up at that point, and you can run around and nab things. And I felt like it was really, or made it feel organic as to why they might be there.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's no real explanation as to why, I guess, but...
Right, yeah, but you figure if the area gets cleared out more, it makes sense that they would be more evident.
Mm-hmm. So I thought that was really cool. Achievements, the new dailies, to help introduce new players to some old content like mini dungeons, and to allow veteran players to mentor maps, JPs, etc. Dungeon dailies were added, and they're hoping that the game mode comes back into favor within the community now that it's been given rewards boost and a place in the daily rotation.
I think it has already. A lot of people are already running it as their daily, so that's good.
I will say that for doing the Ara path, it was 1 gold and 26 silver by the time, you took both things into account. I'm like, that's not a lot for the amount of time we put in here. But it is the longest path. It is totally the longest path.
And you also worked on doing the repeatable achievement for dungeons, too. It's a unique path, so it counts.
Yep. And it's out of the way.
Yes.
Not all jumping puzzles and not all adventures are in the dailies. They just logistically, there are some things that make sense, some things that don't.
Not So Secret is one that they mentioned specifically is not in the daily rotation, so we don't ever have to worry about that.
They don't want people hating them.
Yeah.
So that's good. I love all these additions to the dailies. And it goes back to the other one, playing the game the way you want
to play. Yeah.
So having these variety means you can choose which content counts towards your dailies, which is awesome. DPS Arena, they've got a player base that's in need of this deeper dive and work on mechanics and rotation, so this was a logical step to bring it in for them. Those with Commander Tag can adjust the stats and boons on your whole team rather than just yourself, and you can toggle pulsing damage in the area of the golem, which I was impressed with that level of control.
Because I don't have one, I didn't see that was a thing. So it was kind of nice to have them go over that as well.
I have a Commander Tag, but it never even occurred to me to play around with it in that way. I did go in... Who was it? Hashtag, and I went in and just whacked at the golem for a little bit. It was kind of neat. It's a beautiful area. Have you been in there?
Yes.
It's beautiful.
It's very pretty.
All tucked away down there, below Shark Maw.
Every 20% for the boss's health points, the combat log will spit out your damage, the time taken, and the calculation of your DPS. So that's pretty cool.
We couldn't figure out when you would be told these things, so I did not know that.
So, I mean, even if you're two-manning, getting it down to 20% just takes a while.
It does. Very high stakes right off the bat with raids. This is meant for those trying to learn. It's for individuals who choose to focus on improving their playstyle in order to enhance the overall raid/dungeon/PvE experience of their group.
Yes. Because it's not, I mean, it's about getting practice in a really safe but calculated environment.
There's still a lot of stuff it doesn't take into account for damage.
Oh, yeah.
If you have a DPS specific build, this is a tool that's there for you to see how, if you want to tweak things, like try this versus that.
Yeah, they mentioned like switching out a trait. Just to see how much it changes your damage.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It's good stuff.
They mentioned that the LA tour guide is sad because of the constant reminder of her own failure.
Yes.
As she should be. Although I like the lobster.
I've grown fond of it.
I've grown fond of it. That was very fancy the way you said that. Fancy.
It's the truth.
Yes. Moving on to the next section, they had McKenna Birdrow, who is a game designer, Fractal Backpiece, Scribe Rebalance, and World vs. World Rewards, and Ben Arnold, who is a content programmer, who worked on the Cliffside Fractal, bug fixes for fractals, and the changes to help standardize lifesteal.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, they talked about scribing the simplified recipes, readjusting drop rates on items that were clearly expensive, but it wasn't clear as to why. A huge shift in thought was also to make it friendly for players that weren't necessarily getting help with materials from their guild. And the assembly device has been tuned down to be faster.
Yes, but mostly she was talking about, like, why slivers were so expensive. Well, it's because they weren't dropping everywhere. It's like, oh, that's a problem. Well, now they're going to start dropping everywhere to drive the price down and make it a lot more reasonable. And she just did a lot of deep dives as to, like, why is that so expensive? Well, let's find out.
Yes. Well, and also, I know initially they were designing Scribe that it was a position that would get assistance from guildies.
Mm-hmm.
So that's partly why it was expensive as it was. This has been talked about before, and it's been addressed, so it's neither here nor there, but the issue, if you are new to the game and did not know, was that what if you had a scribe in a guild that you've helped with materials get up to a certain level, and then they leave your guild?
Yeah.
So, and then you're out, you don't have a scribe anymore.
Yeah, basically. But they sound so great. Mm-hmm. And it seems like I'm only like up to 75 in Scribe, and it's already way cheaper than it had been, because you can go and see the old guide still for scribing, and you're like, I would have never have done this if it required that much stuff.
Yeah, Zero Kitsune in chat is saying that they're so good, the changes. I will, and the mock guild hall has got so many cool things in it now. So many cool
yeah.
things. Was it Romo went crazy and put a bunch of stuff, like a couple ginormous trees and the really big Whispers globe.
That's actually something that I had wanted to make. Like,
well, we have
badly.
One.
I know.
It is huge. Like, he says, you should go to the guild hall. I'm like, and I look at him like, I'm not seeing anything. I turn around, I'm like, what?
Whoa, hi there.
That's a big globe.
Yeah.
They also talked about fractals, the better daily achievements, trickle-down achievements. So you do a tier 4 fractal and get credit for the other ones of that type. Actually, that's something I forgot to mention. I did do a level 70-something. But basically, it was like chest popcorn. once you complete, I'm like, all these chests for all the other ones pop up. I'm like, I love this.
I see.
This was amazing. So, better rewards, mislock instabilities, a major issue with balancing fractals has been fixed. Scaling as it stands isn't what they had in mind, with just making the fights take longer by requiring higher damage, which is why the mechanics are being changed on a lot of them to bring them in line with being more challenging rather than a time sink. Well,
Huzzah!
I'm okay with challenging versus time sink.
Everybody's okay with challenging versus time sink.
Yes. Infusions were planned to be fixed, but got cut because of technical issues. So I don't know, do you read that as being like they're not going to revisit it at all? Or for this particular release, they ended up cutting it because the rabbit hole they were going down wasn't going to work?
From what he had said, it seemed like the way that they were planning on doing it was a really bad way, because it was going to delete everybody's agony infusions. And that's why it got cut.
Gotcha. They're not planning to not look at these ever again. Just this particular incarnation is like, nope, we're not doing that.
Yeah. He had made it pretty clear that this was something that they really do want to work on.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that they had approached it this time around was not correct.
Yeah, I hope they do. I've kind of gotten the handle on infusions, basically. But I don't find it very intuitive.
It's not.
Moving on, they had, for the next section, they had Tyler Bierce, who's a game designer in World vs. World, and Carl McLean, game designer, and he worked on the skills, balance update, effect LOD. So specifically for World vs. World, the Provision Master canned foods are really cute.
Yeah, I like the theory behind it being an army ration style
Yes.
thing. Like, I was like, that's really cute. That's nice.
Adorbs. Who thought I'd say that this is adorable? Canned army rations are adorable.
It's all about context.
World versus World reward tracks and participation. So that was something that they mentioned people were asking for basically as soon as the PvP reward tracks had come in.
Yeah.
So, yay. And we're very happy about these things. The population imbalances, world linking means not as many tiers are needed. And actually, we haven't even checked who we're paired up with. Where do you go to find that out?
It was on the forums. I know that it's not Henjim and Ravi.
Damn.
I don't remember. It was a post by Gail. I'd had it pulled up on my phone, so I don't know exactly where. But It was in the forums.
All right. For the effect LOD, very basic projectiles like a red line taking out extra particle effects so that everything is still visible. I don't know what any of those words mean.
Carl was trying to explain that at one point they had gone extremely simplistic for projectiles, where it was just like a red line pointing at the enemy.
Okay.
And then they decided, no, that's ridiculous. That's taking it way too far. So they went and took the old effects and basically started taking off layers of particle effects. And that's kind of how they worked it down to what they thought would be the most efficient effect that they could use for each projectile, spell, etc.
That makes total sense. Start big, take away. Take away as you need. And Hunter is saying that to find out which world you're linked with, hover your mouse over your own server in the World versus World UI. That is remarkably logical.
Yes, quite.
For skill balance, the 10 target max is for World versus World.
And that's for all of those crazy AoE skills like Unsteady Ground and the Fear Walls and stuff like that. But he was kind of trying to explain that's like, it's not really relevant for PvP because you're not going to hit 10 targets while you're in PvP. And it's not really relevant for PvE because it doesn't have as much impact there. It was really just targeted for World vs. World specifically.
For the big player versus player Zergs.
Yes.
For the Desert Borderlands, they're trying to change high impact, low risk changes for the map.
Yes, they're implementing things that are not as controversial, but may still yield a high impact for the player base. Because they do want to bring it back into the rotation eventually. Because we all know that it's going to go away. That Alpine's coming back. At least for a while.
Said many times before, I'm very glad to hear that they hope to not just bin this entirely.
Oh, yeah. Because, it's a beautiful map.
Beautiful map. There was a public poll, or is, vote on what needs to be fixed next. We want to focus on being stewards rather than directors.
Exactly, and that's something that Hugh Norfolk also reiterated a few times by saying, you guys need to tell us what we need to do about these game modes that will make it more pleasurable for you to play them.
Mm-hmm.
It heads directly into his section about PvP and how they were specifically trying to address map pain points so that they could bring all of the maps that they have now into where they would be compatible and logically able to be used in ranked play.
Yeah.
So for Spirit Watch, the capture the flag and conquest mechanics at the same time with trying to run the orb and that kind of stuff just doesn't work. So they slowed it down, and then they also tried the transform on the orb when you're carrying it to give the runner more of a class equality.
And I will also say equality in the sense of if you were a certain profession that had a lot of great movement skills, it could really help you. But if you were a profession like, say, Mesmer, that had distort on for a lot of things, that would cause you to drop it.
Oh.
So if you had something on that, say you dodged, and if you had the trait that if you evade, you get distortion, pretty sure there's something like that, you would drop whatever you're carrying.
Awesome.
Yeah, it had to happen a couple times before I could figure out what it was. I'm like, this this is not good. The Spirit Watch is in beta. They're just testing it out to see how well it would work and whether it's possible to have it move into the rank.
And the same thing for Skyhammer as well. This is all beta changes, and they really, really, really would like for you guys to go onto the forum and provide critically insightful feedback.
The changes for Skyhammer are also based on forum feedback. You cannot fall off the map and die unless you're at the Skyhammer. It was very punishing to be knocked off the map edges by fluke. Like, sometimes it wasn't skill, sometimes it was your own skill. I actually didn't mind the trolliness. It had been a very long time since I'd been knocked off anything or fallen through. Like, I just knew to try avoid the holes.
Yeah.
I just never walked on them, basically.
Honestly, me neither.
Ever. I avoided them like the plagoo. It's like, no, I'm not walking on that. And yes, I know it's pronounced plague. The Skyhammer itself, periodically, every 3 minutes, there's a larger platform. It neutralizes the points as well. So it's
a comeback mechanic now.
Yeah. I haven't been in Skyhammer since the changes, but I am really excited to see how it feels, how it plays. And then as far as the amulets for PvP, they're very offensive, and impact has to be looked at from all builds and from a holistic balance perspective, which that makes sense. I hate Skyhammer.
I'd seen a lot of feedback, or, at least a few posts on the forum about Skyhammer, and saying that now it's just kind of boring because what was unique about it has been taken away.
I can see that. Like, it was super trolly.
Right.
And I think we said this before, like, it was the one you never took seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, you took seriously in the point of view, like, you were trying to win. But if you got flung off an edge, or if you flung something, like, it was just like, meh, whatevs. Like, I mean, obviously not everyone had that opinion.
Right.
But I didn't mind those mechanics, but I am intrigued to see how it'll play now.
Now, over on Reddit, foes shared a crazy good drop that they had gotten from the Mystic Forge. They got the ghastly grinning shield as a pop-out from the forge. And apparently, it's kind of been upgraded for the forge. ANET Andrew M. said, I didn't put this in the update notes since it wasn't meant to go live yet, but since it apparently went through, we added the Bloodbound weapons, Shadow of the Mad King weapons, and some weapons with no way to get them anymore, like Scarlet's Kiss, to the Mystic Forge as possible rewards for combining rare weapons.
I think that is a really good solution for the potential to have either unobtainable or seasonably attainable weapons. The Mystic Forge is made for this. I mean, I hate RNG. Or rather, RNG hates me. But I think that's a great... I love this. I love it. Stupid Mystic Forge. Gonna make me want to put stuff into it again. Meh.
So wrong.
And the only update other than, bug fixes and whatnot this week so far has been an addition to the Black Lion Trading Company. It is Chaos Gloves, which are a thing now for Guild Wars 2. They are an item that had previously been available in Guild Wars 1. It was an extremely difficult achievement reward, right? Did you have them in Guild Wars 1? I didn't, because it was too hard. It was too hard. These are now available for 500 gems, and they come with 1 die slot, so you can color them, which is awesome. Which was something we kind of hoped for the Chaos weapons.
Yeah.
And they look really cool. I will say, though, I saw on that shaman's Twitter where he had a picture, he showed the picture of his character in the preview pane, and then a picture of his character out in the world wearing them, and the brightness is amplified by 8 million compared to, like, because you still saw detail in the preview pane, out in the world, they were just like white glows. Like there was no detail. You couldn't even see hands. They were so bright.
For the original Chaos Gloves, it really wasn't, well, it's not that hard to get now, but it's in the central transfer chamber. You just have to be rank 5 Deldemore.
Interesting.
And, have a fair amount of dust and ecto.
Oh, well, that's a problem. I don't have any ecto.
Wow.
I never did Underworld and stuff. Oh, that was something else I did. I did Underworld with Irish Dog. I'd forgot about that.
Yay!
We didn't get very far, but we did it.
I still remember exactly how to get to all of the spiders. Sing and Tame spiders. So I used to run that for cash with another ranger. You do dual traps, kill everything, and then get people their spider.
Yeah, he got me my spider.
Yeah.
We did it up to the point of getting the Black Widow spider. So I have that for my Hall of Monuments. And what was the other things? I gave him a bunch of minis. Stuff like that. I liked it. I'd like to go back in again. But
it's fun. The Underworld completion thing is challenging.
I'd like to try.
Do you require my assistance?
Ask an Azura.
Excelsior.
Well, we actually did have a somewhat official Ask an Azura in chat just before the show started from Jawa, and they asked, what location Guild Wars 1 would you love to see in Guild Wars 2? And I know we already answered it in chat, but we're doing it here too.
Excluding Cantha, I think it would be really interesting to see what happened to the Desolation after the River Elon flooded the area.
And because I am incredibly predictable, you know what? I might be changing it. I said Vabby because the screen caps on the box for Nightfall, the Vabby areas, which is why I ended up buying it. Because I loved it. I was like, these look beautiful. I want to go here. But you know what? Some of the Eye of the North areas that we haven't been to yet, like Grothmar War Downs.
Yeah.
That would be really cool to see again, too. So I would say Vabby and Grothmar War Downs.
Yeah. Romo's saying the Underworld, which I also would enjoy quite a bit.
Fire Islands?
Well, see...
There's so much. There's too much.
I actually had thought Fire Islands, but I don't know if it would be that interesting.
Yeah, it wasn't super... Well, no, it was interesting, but it wasn't...
Well, now
varied. The Jade Sea, even though we said no Cantha.
See, that's the thing. Excluding Cantha.
Jade Sea. I would like to see that. Well, although we kind of do see it in the Frozen Ocean. Solid Ocean.
Solid Ocean, yeah. So there's our unofficial Ask an Azura that we got at the beginning of the show. And we also got a letter from IB Storage saying, I don't know if you've talked about this, but I found out by chance when you finish the Arc Basin meta event and the Exalted chests are available. After unlocking all the chests, you can hang out in the map where a lot of the chests are and wait to see if Volunteer's Blessing comes up. Then you can switch to a more populated map and you get the Volunteer's Blessing. And when you switch to that new map, you'll have all of the chests ready to be unlocked again.
It's
a tip. It's a tip. It might be a little exploity, but, it probably works in other metas as well.
So thanks for that, for sending that in, IB Storage. That was very awesome. And for our other Ask an Azura, I'm including this because Academy Gaming has a post up about the class tier list for Guild Wars 2 PvP right now. And I was reading through it, and they were talking about ranking the different professions and how they're playing in PvP right now. And they had rank S, or S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, and D tier. And I'm like, what's this S tier thing? I honestly don't understand. So I tweeted at them saying, I don't understand this. And they replied. So I'm including this in Ask an Azura. If you ever see anything like this, you will now also know. S tier originates from Japanese games. No official word on the meaning of S, but assumed to mean super or special, which is why it is above A.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was interesting. I replied with a more you know gif.
Very appropriate.
Or gif.
Tales of Tyria.
Over on the Guild Wars 1 Reddit, that shaman shared a remastered map of Cantha for its 10th anniversary, which we've already gone over. But somebody in the comments actually said, you know, this looks so much better than the other map that they should just replace it and put this in game. And I totally agree. It is so much prettier to see not fogged up things.
I will say, though, when I was looking at it, I got angst just looking at all the Canning City zones. Like, all the city zones, they just... How you feel with Tangled Depths is how I feel about those zones. I'm like, but it's right there! Why can't I get to it?
Because no jumping. No, but I really like how he cleared it up and... He lightened it, so it was a lot easier to see the details as well. If you go and look in-game, it seems like the map just has a really, I don't know, low gamma. So it's just, like, darker than everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Not very helpful.
Well, but it is supposed to be kind of muddy, you know, that city and decay sort of look to it. So it kind of makes sense.
It makes sense for in the city, but it just makes sense for all over the place.
Well, that's fair. On to something super pretty.
Mm-hmm.
On Tumblr, Frog Makes Art has posted a series of sketches for Guild Wars 2 characters, and oh my god, I love them.
They're so pretty.
I love them so much. I love the style. They're very stylized, but they're so Guild Wars 2 at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love them. Love the look. And as you mentioned when we were talking quickly before the show, you mentioned how much you liked the ink color that they chose.
Yeah. I like it a lot, actually.
Yeah.
It's not something I would have normally gone for, but it's very nice.
I love it. Love it.
It's very
pretty. Taking a break from work and then sketching some of their characters, of course.
Of course.
They're sassy. I love that Norn and the Char and the Sylvari. And the Asura.
Love all of them.
They have personality. Personality.
They definitely do.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Allona.
Yeah.
For doing the show with me.
Thanks, Parch Celeste.
Thank you, chat room, for keeping us company and filling up another panel of browser with a bunch of links that I get to watch after the show's done. Thank you for downloading the show. We hope that you enjoyed it. We hope that you come back again next week. But most importantly, we hope to see you in-game.
May the Six watch over you.
So if you have a community event that you would like for us to share, please send us an email.
Legion calls.
And if you've got a burning question for our Ask an Azura segment, let us know.
Seize the moment.
And so now let's go ahead and talk about our sponsor.
More people should learn to barter.
If you are in dire need of audiobooks, or just, you enjoy books with sound, you can go to audibletrial.com/MMOreporter and you'll get a free audiobook.
I'm selling. You buying?
And if you use the coupon code MMOReporter at doghousesystems.com, you will get an additional 120 gig SSD drive for free on your next build, and or possibly a Superstar Destroyer.
No free samples.
So if you're in love with the show or the network, consider becoming a patron on our Patreon page. You should definitely check it out. Patreon.com/MMOReporter.
Let's see the color of your coin.
So Allona, if people want to get into contact with us to share their questions, answers, or corrections, how could they do so?
They can email us at gwreporter@mmoreporter.com. Twitter is @gwreporter. Our website is guildwarsreporter.com. You can leave us a voicemail at 616-666-6778 or use the widget on the right-hand side of the website. YouTube is MMO Reporter Network, and remember to like our videos and subscribe to the GW Reporter playlist. And while you're hanging out there, try some of the other shows. You might find something you like. Facebook is GW Reporter. Tumblr is gwreporter.tumblr.com.
You must visit more often.
And you can visit us on Twitter. I am at OneBigPear, as in the fruit.
And I am at Selyuki.
Or at Hunter's Insight, one word.
You're kidding, right?
Or you can find us in-game, where I am Selyuki.5046.
And I'm OneBigPear.1249.
Incredible!
And you can get me in-game at Hunt, H-U-N-T, I forget my user display name or whatever.
I can't believe it.
Until next time.
Yes, that's right. So thank you for coming and watching the video, and we hope to see you in-game.
So that's how it's done.
Is it me, Jawa, or Celeste?
It's me.
Okay. Because you have no lungs.
Yes.
Are we moving on to Ask an Azura now?
Yeah, I'm just staring at my water glass and going, oh, you're empty.
Oh, that's so sad. Hey, we never broke out this Tales of Tyria. Celeste's having ice issues.
Ah, sorry. I'm thirsty.
I'm just so thirsty. Super combo. Bonk. And now you're chewing ice because you're so thirsty.
I'm sorry. Over on the Guild Wars 1 Reddit, Shaman.
Wait, we know him by his first name.
Shaman. Yeah.
Shaman. I will say that putting the outtakes at the end of each show makes doing the blooper reel so much easier.
Oh god, yes.
What are you doing down there?
I'm so glad I'm still recording.
Thanks for watching the video, everybody. Don't forget to check out all the other podcasts at MMOReporter.com or by clicking on any of the links here. And please check out our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MMOReporter. Thanks, everyone, and see you in game.